Hey guys, I hope you can hear me okay. I'm not wearing my operator, that's my mouthpiece that helps me speak more clearly, but it's also very painful, and I don't like to wear it if I don't have to, so I will also put instructions on the screen like I normally do in my spell videos. This is the first one where I have spoken in the video, and I wanted to try to change things up a little bit. So this is an expedite spell, and it is a voodoo spell. I live in Mississippi. Mississippi and Louisiana are where voodoo is very prominent, and I don't only do voodoo spells, but it is something that I'm definitely drawn to. So I'm going to walk you through the spell from setting up the altar and everything. And of course, anyone can alter their spell work to suit their purposes, so yours definitely does not need to look just like mine. I am going to use this candle holder because it kind of reminds me of Mardi Gras a little bit with the face mask. This is a candle that I made that I'm going to put in it. Now, I use the ones myself that have flaws and imperfections rather than sell them to my customers in my Etsy store, so this one I have not used yet, but as you can see the top of it, this is one of my flawed ones that I'm going to use. And if you buy this spell package, the spell kit from the Etsy store, I will provide a laminated picture of the saint, and so that's going to go there, and the candle is going to be for the saint. Now normally, with an expedite spell, you use a red candle if you're just doing a general expedite spell. You can use a green candle if you are doing a money spell, or if there's another candle color that fits what you're doing, then you would use that. So this is my red candle for expedite spell. I like to have a candle representing the person or situation. And sometimes this one would be the one that I anoint as well, but not always. In this instance, I want the red one. Usually a figural candle or just another candle like this to represent yourself. Like this is a figural candle that I made, and it has been used already. I want to, just for the sake of it, because I like this candle and I think it's pretty cool, this is going to be my figural candle. It is a pile of skulls. Again, this is one that I made as well. So we're setting the altar up in a triangle formation, and I put the paper down on the altar cloth because I didn't want it to, the candle wax strippings and everything to mess up my nice new cloth. I go through cloths quite fast because I end up making a mess. So one thing that I always like to do to begin a spell to prepare is to smudge with sage. So again, in keeping with the triangle formation, I'm trying to keep everything in the formation. So I'm going to put the sage smudge stick right here in the front if I can get it to stay. And this isn't necessary, but seeing as how we're using a red candle, and we have kind of the skull motif going on, I'm going to put it right here as an altar decoration. Now, you would use a feather. I normally have black ones, but right now I'm going to use a small pink one. And like I said, in keeping with the triangle theme, I'm going to place it there. This is a piece of fool's gold, or pyrite fool's gold. Especially if you're going to make a green bag or an amulet of some sort, you would put this in your bag when you're done. And you need a red stone. I have this one as one of my Reiki stones, but for the sake of this spell video, I'm going to put this small bottle of red jasper stones just right there because they're easier to see. I have my carving tool. Today I'm using the spoon on one end and it's got a crystal on the other end, and it's sharp, so I can carve the candles with it. And I do also burn incense normally as part of my spell rituals. It's optional, but you find what works for you. So this is a incense burner, and it can hold cold incense, and then there's all these sticks right here for the stick incense. So we're going to use a stick incense, and I would recommend a jasmine no, I'm sorry, not jasmine. I don't know why I just said that. I was meaning to say frankincense or cinnamon or dragon's blood would all be good choices. And let's see, I have my oil that I'm going to anoint the candle with. I'm not necessarily going to place it on the altar permanently throughout the spell, but I will for now, just to put it on there so you can see. And then I have my mortar and pestle, and I have already ground up and prepared my herbal mixture that I am going to anoint the candle with. You can also, instead of anointing the candle with it, you can burn it on a charcoal tablet. So this is my St. Expedite herbal mixture. Okay, so we might not be able to exactly keep up the triangle formation because of the limited amount of space we're working with. Okay, and you need a bowl or a chalice of water or wine. And then two things that I am not showing you. An altar bell, I do have one, but for those of you who don't have an altar bell or who don't use one, it's okay. You can take something and tap on your bowl or chalice instead. So that's what I'm going to do, just to show you that it can be done that way. You don't have to use an altar bell. Traditionally, in hoodoo and voodoo practices, you would offer an offering, of course that's what you do with an offering, to the saint, and, flowers, I forgot flowers. Alright, so the offering for the saint is the glass of wine or water, some flowers. These are some dried flowers that I'm using. This is a string of dried flowers. You can use fresh flowers, pick them from your yard, whatever. I am going to, where can you see them if I put them down? And then traditional voodoo uses a pound cake, specifically the Sara Lee pound cake. I don't have a pound cake right now, but that's okay, because you would give the offering after your wish was granted. Not wish as in give me 3 wishes, but the purpose that you are doing the spell for, when it is finally resolved, then you would leave the offering out, maybe under a tree or in a nice place in your yard for the saint. So it is said that you wouldn't go ahead and give him the offering of the cake and all that beforehand, because then he wouldn't have the motivation needed to give you what you're wanting. You give it to him afterwards. So, like I said, I always get started doing all of my spells by smudging with the sage first. So let's light the sage. And normally when I'm doing these videos for you guys, I'm not talking during it, because I don't want to focus on what I'm saying, I want to focus on what I'm doing. So if I seem a little disjointed or whatever, it's because I'm not used to talking while I do it. I'm used to being more in a meditative state of mind, focusing on what I'm doing and, not having to focus on what I'm saying. But this is more tutorial-like, I guess. So when you smudge, you just let it burn out on its own. I didn't hold the flame to it for very long, so you can see it's already almost done. You just let it burn out on your own, so then you would just put it back down on your tool, your thing that's holding it. Now I'm going to move the smudge off of the altar, because we're done with it now, and it's taking up a lot of space. And I'm going to move the flowers right there in the front. And I normally go ahead and light my incense. Now, sometimes if the spell you're doing requires you to light the incense at a certain time, when you're saying a certain, chant or prayer or whatever, then you would wait and do it then. But I like the incense lit and burning throughout the duration of the spell because to me it helps with the meditation, focusing my thoughts and kind of calming down my mind. Then you're going to anoint your red candle if you're using a red one, or it would be green if you're using a green one for money, whatever. And to anoint the candle, all you have to do is put some on your hand or your finger and just simply rub it over the candle. And it doesn't have to be a lot, but since we're doing some herbal mixture as well, I want to get it pretty wet with the oil so that the herbs will stick. Now when you do this, the oils and the herbs on the candle, one thing you have to realize is it's going to burn a lot messier, which is another reason why I put the paper down in the hopes of trying to spare my altar cloth. And so, alright, now if you're using herbs to dress the candle, I like to spread the herbs out on a piece of paper and then roll the candle in it. But I can't show you that right now, so I'm going to dress the candle off screen for a minute, and then I'll be right back. Alright, here we go, our dressed candle. And one other item I forgot to mention, if you wanted to make a gris bag, then you don't have to, but you might want to go ahead and have the bag itself laid on the altar so that it can absorb the energies from the spell, the energies that you're working. So see, I mixed up a lot of the mixture, I have a lot left, so I would have plenty left over to put in a gris bag as well to carry around at the end of the, when the spell's over. So I have plenty of this mixture left right now. It is not needed on the altar anymore, so I'm going to move it as well for the sake of saving space. I know I said triangle formation, but that was getting really hard to see it all in the picture. Alright, now if you're using an astral candle, which is the candle representing yourself, and in my case this is it, you would carve your name on it somewhere. Or if you're doing the spell on behalf of someone else, you would carve their name. This is the candle that represents the person that the spell is being done for. And you can carve it anywhere. And at this point, especially if you are into journaling or writing, for a lot of people, writing helps. You would write out your petition, what exactly it is that you're wanting to happen, what you're petitioning the saint for. You spell it out on the paper, take as much room as you need, and then you would fold it up and place it under this red candle. Because this is a candle that's working the magic. Be safe, paper, fire, normally not a good mixture. Right, and once you have that done, you're ready to start lighting the candles. You're going to light your astral candle first and say that just something simple. This candle represents me, the petitioner. Or, in my case, my name is Christy, so this is my astral candle. It represents me, and you go ahead and light it. And then you're going to light the red candle, because this is the one that's important for the magic. Alright, and if you're using a candle for the saint, you would light it now. And I am, so we're going to light it. The candle for the saint is not necessary, but since all I have is the little printout, and it's not very big, I just wanted something of more substance sitting back here representing the saint. If you follow Saint EXPEDITE a lot, then a good idea would be to actually buy a statue that you could have on your altar. Oh, before I light this, let me say this. You see I have a skull motif going on. That's not necessary, but normally when you're wanting to do an expedite spell, you're not doing it. This is not a relaxation, it's not a protection, it's not a meditation. It's usually not where you're feeling, good and happy and all that. but it's not a cursing spell either. It's kind of on the border. Like, if the thing that you want to happen doesn't happen soon, then you might move into more of placing a hex or a curse or whatever. You are normally frustrated by this point, or at least anxious, and it's kind of bordering on the edge of it could turn into worse feelings if, what you're wanting doesn't resolve soon. So that's why I like the skulls in a lot of work anyway, and that's why I'm using a skull motive for this spell. Alright, so you're going to light the candle for the saint if you're using one. Like I said, you don't have to. And then if you were using an altar bell, at this point you would pick it up and ring it 3 times. And like I said, you don't have to. You can tap on your bowl of water or wine, just the same as if you were doing a toast and trying to get people's attention. So it's what you're trying to do. You are getting the saint's attention, and then you will say a chant or a prayer to the saint. If you have your own, that's fine. But if you don't, if you buy my spell from the Etsy store, I provide a printout of a typical or a traditional Catholic St. Expeditus prayer that you can use. But, I understand that people have different deities, might not want to follow a Christian method for the spell. That's fine. I mean, you are calling on a saint, which is more of a Christian thing anyway, but you get what I'm saying. I'm going to read the prayer that I have that is what you would receive if you buy the spell in my shop. So first, we ring the bell or tap the glass to get his attention 3 times. And here is the prayer. My Saint Expeditus of urgent and just causes, please intercede for me with our Lord Jesus Christ. Succor me in this hour of affliction and despair, my Saint Expeditus. You who are a holy warrior, you who are the saint of the afflicted, you who are the saint of the desperate, you who are the saint of urgent causes, protect me, help me, give me strength, courage, and serenity. Hear my plea. And at this point you would interject what it is that you're wanting the saint to find a way to give you, to grant you. So take a minute. It would be basically what you wrote down on that slip of paper and put under that red candle. And then you'd continue with the prayer. My Saint Expeditus, help me to prevail through these difficult hours. Protect me from all those who want to harm me. Respond to my plea with urgency. Bring me back to the state of peace and tranquility, my Saint Expeditus. I will be grateful to you for the rest of my life, and I will speak your name to all those who have faith. And now is when you would promise to give him a specific offering when your desire is granted. So I would say something like, my dear Saint Expeditus, I offer you this wine, this flour, and this pound cake as an offering or as a reward for granting my request. And then you would say simply amen, or you can just end it right there. Now, if you are wanting to be very religious with this, and if you're a Catholic, at this point you would say 1 Our Father and 1 Holy Mary, and then make the sign of the cross. And that is pretty much it, other than, like I said, when you're done, or not when you're done with the spell, but when whatever it is that you're requesting has been granted, is when you would take the flour and the wine or water and the pound cake and place it outside. A lot of people like to do that and allow the birds to be able to eat the cake, that kind of thing. And I mean, you wouldn't leave it out there until it started growing mold or something like that, but a few nights or whatever. If you're using a small spell candles like this, you need to let it burn all the way down. and it takes anywhere between 1.5 to 2.5 hours, so let's say an average of 2 hours. If you're using larger candles like this, for the spell candle, you would go ahead and stuff them out with a candle snuffer to signify the end of the spell whenever you are done. But when I use the ones these size, what I highly recommend that you do is spend the time that that candle is burning, if you can afford to spend that much time, in prayer and meditation, guided imagery if you need to do that, focusing on your end goal, thinking about what that would mean to you when you finally get it, and that kind of thing. And if you can spend the whole 2 hours or however long that takes in meditation, then great, do it. If you can't, you can go about whatever you're doing. You need to obviously not leave a candle unattended, so you need to at least still be in the room with it. But even if that means you go on and do some other things, some other tasks in the meantime while this is burning, that's fine if you have to. If you can't spend the whole time in the prayer and meditation, that would be okay. But just when you notice that the candle finally did burn all the way down, like in my case, I'm going to let this one burn all the way down, the red one, and then these two will still be burning at that point because they have a longer burn time, and at that point I will snuff these because then I can reuse these later in another spell. So for instance, if I wanted to continue doing the spell on multiple nights, then when that one is burned all the way down, I would snuff these out, and then I would use a new red candle tomorrow night and do this thing again, just like we just did. And I can just relight these two because, they take longer to burn than that one. Or if I just wanted to use all candles that size, I can do that. Or if I wanted to use all pillar candles, then I can just snuff them out each night. So it's simple. The feather, even the picture if you wanted to, the gold and the red stone can all be put in a gris bag when you're done with this. And so if you wanted to just do the spell on subsequent nights for a set amount of time or until your request was granted, you can do that and not do a gris bag. Or if you just wanted to do the spell the one time and then do the bag, you can carry the bag around with you. You can make it into a necklace and hang it around your neck, or you can carry it in your purse or something like that. And with these items, those 4 items, or if you are using a statue instead, then you obviously, I would put this in my gris bag because it's so small and everything. But if I was using a statue or a larger picture, then I would put the red stone, the pyrite, fool's gold, the feather, or if the feather was too big, a piece of the feather. Especially if you're using dried flowers for the offering, it might not hurt to take one petal or, one piece of it to also put in your bag. And then also some of the remaining herb mixture. And then you're carrying around the essence, the energies of the spell, and your intent, your energy is in that, and you're carrying it around with you until your request is granted. Alright, so this is it, you guys. Now, in all of my other spell videos, what I do is I go ahead and do a sped up time lapse. Sorry, can't think. I do a time lapse of watching the candles go down, and that's partly because, the candles are going to have to burn down anyway, so I might as well film it, but keeping the camera rolling, and, watching the candles, I'm putting the time and the effort into doing the spell. I am doing the proper meditation and spending the amount of time that I'm teaching you to do. I am doing it myself every time I do one of these, and so this is my way of showing to you that I am actually letting it burn all the way down and that kind of thing. Alright, so the flour and the wine could stay on there the whole time, but I'm going to move the wine for now. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you don't want to watch the time lapse of the candles, you can click out now. But if you would, please leave a comment down below if there is a situation that you are dealing with that you need a spell for, or if you know what spell you need, let me know. I will do one for you, and I can also put together a spell packet and sell it in my Etsy shop. If you don't see something in my shop that you need, then just ask me, because it's a very good chance that I have it. I have a whole lot of supplies, and I am happy to share them and share my knowledge with you guys.